Good day, everyone. So today, in conjunction with World Cancer Day, I am going to share the work that we do at Cancer Research Malaysia, saving lives to research in Asians. So first of all, I would like you to imagine if you were told that you have cancer. For a lot of people, they would worry about how much time they have to survive, how much pain they need to bear, and whether or not they are able to afford the cost for treatment for cancer that we know at this point is extremely expensive. But imagine if we say that cancer is cured. How would that make you feel? Indeed, because of better screening to detect cancer early and better treatment, survival from cancer has improved from 1 in 4 in 1970s to 1 in 2 today. And at this current pace, we anticipate that 3 in 4 patients could potentially survive 10 years post-diagnosis in the next 10 years. In 2020, 90 million people were diagnosed with cancer, and 9.9 million people died of cancer. The sad reality is that almost 50% of the cases are from Asia, and 58% of the deaths are from Asia. So this means that overall, Asians have a higher risk of dying because of cancer. So before I proceed, let's take a step back and understand what is cancer and how it occurs. So in general, how our cells behave all depend on our gene. So gene is like a recipe or a manual that provides instructions for our cells to function properly. For normal cells, so let's look at this diagram here at the birth. For normal cells, because the gene is functioning properly, it is able to provide the right instructions for the cell to grow in a proper way. So for normal cells, they will only usually divide for a few times, and up to a certain point, they will die off and will be replaced by a new cell. For cancer cell, on the other hand, it divides out of control and never dies. So why this happens is because there is a gene change or gene fault that makes the gene unable to provide the right instruction to the cell to grow properly. So in cancer cell, they will grow in an uncontrolled manner where first it will form a tumor or a mass of cell, and up to a point where it grows too big that it can break into the bloodstream and spread to other parts of your body. So when this happens, cancers are usually called advanced or metastasized. Then the next question is, what causes this genetic change or fault? So there are two main categories of factors that causes this genetic change that leads to cancer. Majority of cancer, 90%, are due to sporadic or random and is caused by many risk factors. So for example, for risk factor that you can't change or you can't run away from are age and hormonal changes. So for example, age. As we grow older, it is usual for your cell to accumulate genetic changes that could lead to cancer. So it is estimated 1 in 3 old people will develop cancer. So when we talk about old, it's probably about 60s or 70s. Hormonal changes. So we women have hormones that makes us function like a woman. So these can also become the risk factors for cancers. So other factors such as lifestyle, for example, alcohol and smoking, environmental factors such as UV exposures, and viruses such as human papillomavirus that causes cervical cancer. So all this combination of all these factors, I repeat, combination and not just a single factor, may lead to DNA damage or changes that leads to cancer. only a small percentage of genetic changes that is inherited or runs in the family. So a popular example for this case would be the Angelina Jolie stories. So in this category, cancer runs in the family. So we see clusters of cancer in that family. For example, in Angelina Jolie case, her mom, her grandmother, and her aunt had cancer. So there's cluster of cancer in there. Also because this gene fault are inherited, so it is present at birth. Because this fault is present at birth, it puts a person at increased risk of cancer earlier or younger in their life. So in this category, you would see cancer occurring at a younger age. So we're talking about 20s or 30s. So let's flip back to this diagram. So remember that I mentioned that this diagram shows that Asians have a higher risk of dying because of cancer. So why is this the case? Are there racial differences in cancer? Is cancer racist? In the main, cancer doesn't appear racist because genetic fault that causes increased risk to cancer in European women also increases the risk to the same extent in Asians. A treatment developed for cancer works to a similar extent in European women as it does in Asian women. But is this always true? Let's look at some data on population differences. First, our race, our genetic makeup influences our risk to cancer. For example, nasopharyngeal cancer or NPC, a cancer that Lee Chong-wei, our badminton legend, suffered. So for this cancer, it is known that a Chinese or a Bidayuh man is 40 times more likely to get NPC compared to European men. Secondly, our race, our culture, our diet influences our risk to cancer. For example, because of chewing betel quid, or in Malay, sirih tembakau, oral cancer is 5 times more likely to kill Indian men than European men. Thirdly, in terms of side effects to certain chemo drugs. So our race, our genetic makeup influences our response to treatment. Asian women is 3 times more likely to have side effect for some chemotherapies. So cancer, in a way, could be racist. Today, even though Asians make up the majority of the world, the sad reality is that we only make up 10% of genomic research. Therefore, that is why Cancer Research Malaysia is here today. We are a non-profit organization established to save lives through research in Asians, and our priority to ensure Asians are not left out in the fight against cancer. So in the next few slides, I'm going to just describe some of the work that we do at Cancer Research Malaysia to fight cancer. First, building on the world's largest genetic database of Asian breast cancer, we'll be launching a clinical trial for effective treatment options for Asian cancer patients. So our goal is to develop innovative treatment that could work because it targets specific features of Asian cancers. Think about it this way. Traditionally, cancer patients are given one drug, but in this situation, some patients may respond, some may not respond, and some may have side effects. But with precision medicine or targeted treatment, it is now possible to determine which drug that may work best for each patient so that each one can get an appropriate response and opportunity for improved survival. Secondly, in our research to improve survival for oral and nasopharyngeal cancer, we have developed a cancer vaccine that boosts or trains a patient's immune system so that it is able to detect and destroy cancer cells more effectively. A lot of work has already gone into this, and if all goes well, we'll be in human trial by early 2023. Imagine that a treatment developed right here in Malaysia for disease common in Malaysia. Third, we will also be launching our Asian Risk Calculator, in short, ARICA. So this is a tool which we developed based on our research in Asians to allow patients to accurately determine their likelihood that they inherit a faulty breast cancer gene that increases their risk to cancer. We'll be launching this in 5 hospitals to see if this improves access to genetic counseling and testing. Our earlier studies in ovarian cancer showed that we have improved access to life-saving genetic services from only 2%, mainly around Clungberry, to 57% now. So meaning that patients, regardless of where they stay, which state they stay, they are able to have access to this life-saving services. And we hope to replicate this in breast cancer setting. So why is this important? Knowing one's genetic status that increases their risk allows people to be aware and take a proactive approach to manage their risk early on, because we know that early detection saves lives. Next is we've also developed a mobile app called Mimosa, a short form for Mobile Mouth Screening Anywhere. It's an app for teleconsultation to help to allow quicker referral, and which then allow quicker detection of oral cancer, because as I mentioned earlier, early detection saves lives. Lastly, we are working on launching 2 new patient navigation centers. Our 4 centers in Klang, Seremban, Kota Kinabalu, and Kuching already serve more than 1,000 low-income women each year. And this new way of delivering services is closing the gap in services between the rich and the poor. We are working hard to expand this across more hospitals in the country, because our goal is to make sure that knowledge and disparities are not the reason for poor survival in Malaysia. So those are the 5 main areas that we work on, and I hope that what I've shared today gives us hope in the journey to reverse cancer. However, there is still so much more to be done to ensure the fight against cancer doesn't miss Asians, especially Malaysians, and we can't do it alone. Cancer Research Malaysia depends on donation to keep this life-saving research going. So do support the work that we do, if not financially, by being an advocate for cancer research, and join our effort to create a future free of the fear of cancer. Since we might have time, before I end, probably I will just spare the last couple of minutes to just share this top 3 cancer myth that I always get asked, just to clear some of these misconceptions. First, superfood prevent cancer. So the fact is that superfood is actually a marketing term, and it's not actually based on science. So evidence over several decades points to a simple but not very newsworthy fact that actually the best way to reduce your risk of cancer is by a series of long-term healthy behaviors, such as not smoking, keeping active, maintaining a healthy body weight, and cutting back on alcohol. So it is so important that when you consume food, everything is in moderation, and make sure that you consume a healthy, balanced rainbow diet, and not just focus on a certain subgroup and over consuming any any subgroup of food. Second is cancer is a modern disease. Well, while it is certainly true that global lifestyle-related disease like cancers are on the rise, the biggest risk factor for cancer is actually age. If you remember from my earlier presentation, 1 in 3 old people will be diagnosed with cancer because it is quite normal for DNA damage in our cell to build up as we age, and such damage, like I mentioned earlier, can lead to cancer. The reason why we are seeing a lot more cancer nowadays is because we are now able to diagnose cancer more accurately. So really thanks to the advances in screening, imaging, and pathology. To a certain extent, yes, lifestyle, diet, and other things like air pollution collectively have an impact on our risk to cancer, for example, smoking. But that's not the same as saying it's a modern or man-made disease. There are plenty of natural causes of cancers. For example, 1 in 6 worldwide cancer is caused by viruses or bacteria. Again, like I mentioned earlier, cervical cancer is caused by human papilloma virus, HPV. Third and the last, cancer treatment kills more than it cures. Okay, so for this one, the fact is that one of the biggest reasons for this myth is because many cancers are found at a late stage and aggressive treatment is usually needed to treat this kind of cancer. And also at late stage cancer diagnosis, the disease would have spread to other places in the body and usually results in very low survival rate. So this together with the side effects of chemotherapy, aggressive treatment may cause many people to actually doubt the effectiveness of conventional cancer treatment. But the truth is that when cancer is diagnosed at an early stage, treatment works best. The success rates of using conventional treatment tends to be much higher. So really, if you are concerned about side effect, you should really balance the importance of prolonging life with the quality of life when making decision about treatment. It's important that you consult your doctors so that they can help to plan on how to manage your side effects effectively. With that, I hope the short sharing today gives you an idea of the reality of cancer and our effort to work towards a future free of the fear of cancer for Asians, especially Malaysians. So do follow us on our social media platform for updates. And if you have any question, drop us an email at info@cancerresearch.my. Thank you so much and have a good day.